What's going on, guys? This is Fast Coming Warning and welcome to another episode of Head to Head. This is the series in which you guys viewers give me two weapons to compare, and then I'll give you my thoughts on both weapons and as well as tell you which one I prefer the most. So for today's episode, I'll be comparing the M416 to the L85A2 because these two weapons are very similar, but at the same time there are differences between these two weapons that give them distinct personalities. Of course, the M416 is used more across all gaming platforms, but I think the L85 is a more comparable weapon and a good alternative to the M416. So before I give you any more of my thoughts on both weapons, let's go ahead and take a look at their stats. So both the M416 and the L85A2 do a maximum damage of 24, a minimum damage of 18 with their drop off starting at 8 meters and then ending at 55 meters. They both have a rate of fire of 750 rounds per minute, but where we do start to see a few differences is with their muzzle velocity. So the M416 has a muzzle velocity of 600 meters per second, while the L85A2 has a slightly higher muzzle velocity of 640 meters per second. The magazine size on both weapons is 31 rounds, and that comes with reload times on the M416 of 2.4 seconds when fully empty and 1.85 seconds with one bullet in the chamber. As for the L85A2, it comes with reload times of 3.75 seconds when fully empty and 2.75 seconds when one bullet left in the chamber. As for the recoil patterns for the M416, it's pulling up by 0.32, pulling to the left by 0.1, and pulling to the right by 0.3. And last, the L85A2 is pulling up by 0.37 and pulling to the left and right by 0.225. So to begin with, the first thing I noticed when I started to use these weapons is that the L85 is more accurate than the M416, and no matter how many comparable setups I tried with both weapons, I just found the L85 to be better in most situations. Now don't get me wrong here, because both of these weapons do perform very well in close to medium ranges, but knowing how the L85 is a bullpup weapon, it definitely felt a bit better when it came to hip firing or just playing in close quarter situations in general. Although one thing that bothered me about the L85A2 are its reload times, which held me back in a few occasions because it takes 3.75 seconds to reload when you have an empty magazine, making it one of these lowest reloading assault rifles, and this can definitely be a big annoyance in fast-paced matches where you do have to reload quickly and get back into the action. Now you can always avoid having to wait that long by reloading before you go fully empty, but still the reload times are what make the L85 fall short. Overall, the L85 performs well when it comes to close to medium distances. It has a high muzzle velocity which helps take out those moving targets a lot faster and also easier to control recoil. Now when it comes to the M416, one word that truly defines this weapon is versatility, because you can transform this weapon into whatever you want it to be. It may not have the accuracy that the L85 has, but with the right attachments, the M416 becomes a good all-around weapon without sacrificing too much, which is a very viable choice for both experienced and inexperienced players. Compared to the L85A2, the M416 does feel a bit more jumpy and unsettled, and you have to make more adjustments when shooting since it has a tendency to pull to the right, but with the proper setup it becomes more stable and easier to use, although it will never feel as refined as the L85 does. Now the M416's biggest advantage comes from its reload times, which ties the score age for best reload times when fully empty and with one bullet left in the chamber. It's only second to the M16 by 500ths of a second, which is not even noticeable to the naked eye. But to kind of wrap things up here, if I were to pick one of these weapons, I would have to pick the L85A2 because compared to the M416, I just found it to be a lot better overall. That is simply because it was a lot more accurate, and also since it's a lot more easier to control, which is something I always look forward to in a weapon. So yeah guys, let me know which one of these two weapons do you prefer, and also if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a rating for it, as it always helps out the video and the channel a lot. If you're new around here, feel free to subscribe for weekly Battlefield videos, and as always, this is Fast1, and see you in the next video.